This is a small town in Switzerland. It is clean, orderly, unremarkable. In an office building here, engineers in white shirts assemble machines about the size of a typewriter. The machines hum. They scramble words into nonsense. Governments around the world pay good money for that nonsense. The company is called Crypto AG. For most of the 20th century, it is the most trusted name in encryption on Earth. Diplomats use its machines. Generals use them. Presidents and dictators and spies and ambassadors and intelligence chiefs use them. More than 100 countries buy Crypto AG devices to protect their most sensitive secrets. Military orders, hostage negotiations, embassy cables, assassination plans. Switzerland is neutral. The company is private. The machines are world-class, or so they believe, because the entire thing is a lie, and the lie lasts for decades. To understand how, we have to go back to the years after the Second World War. The Americans want to read the world's mail, so do the West Germans, but code breaking is slow, expensive, and uncertain. There is an easier way. If you cannot break the lock, you sell the lock. According to a classified CIA history later obtained by reporters, the Central Intelligence Agency and West Germany's intelligence service, the BND, quietly purchased Crypto AG. The deal is hidden behind shell companies and lawyers. To the outside world, nothing changes. The Swiss engineers keep working. The customers keep buying. But now the machines are designed with a secret. The encryption is rigged. The keys can be reverse engineered. To a customer in Tehran or Buenos Aires or Lagos, the cipher looks unbreakable. To analysts in Langley and Pullach, the cipher is a window. Every cable, every order, every private negotiation, readable. The operation has a name. Inside the agencies, they call it Rubicon. Imagine what that means in practice. It is the height of the Cold War. A military junta in South America is planning a crackdown. They type their orders into a Crypto AG machine. The orders travel across the wire as scrambled gibberish. In a quiet building outside Washington, an analyst pours a cup of coffee and reads them in plain text. It is the Iran hostage crisis. Tehran's diplomats are communicating with their embassies abroad. They believe they are speaking in code. They are not. It is the Falklands War. Argentine commanders coordinate movements over encrypted channels. Their messages, according to the leaked history, are passed by the Americans to British intelligence. It is a coup, a kidnapping, a political assassination. Somewhere, a colonel is dictating into a Crypto AG keyboard. Somewhere else, a stranger is listening. For decades, more than 100 governments are essentially briefing the CIA on their own secrets and paying Crypto AG handsomely for the privilege. The internal CIA history reportedly calls it the intelligence coup of the century. Who exactly is being spied on? The customer list, according to the documents, reads like a roll call of 20th century geopolitics. Iran, Libya, Argentina, Italy, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, the Vatican, generals and presidents and foreign ministries on nearly every continent. A few major powers are not on the list. The Soviets do not trust the Swiss machines and build their own. The Chinese do the same. Crypto AG's customers are, in large part, the middle of the world. The country's too small to build industrial-grade cryptography from scratch and too proud to buy it from a superpower. So they buy it from neutral Switzerland, from a private company, from engineers in white shirts. And every word they entrust to those machines flows, in clean, readable text, to the very governments they are trying to keep secrets from. Inside Crypto AG, not everyone is comfortable. Over the years, a handful of engineers begin to notice things. Strange design choices, algorithms that should be stronger than they are, visits from foreign consultants whose questions cut a little too close. One engineer in particular, Hans Bühler, is detained in Iran in 1992. The Iranians suspect correctly that something is wrong with their machines. They want to know what he knows. He spends roughly 9 months in prison. He insists, truthfully, that he knows nothing. When he is finally released, reportedly after Crypto AG pays a ransom, he goes home and starts asking his own questions. He is dismissed from the company. He goes public with his suspicions. The company sues. The story flickers in the European press and then fades. The operation continues. The machines keep selling. It will take almost another 30 years before the full truth comes out. In February 2020, a joint investigation by the Washington Post, the German broadcaster ZDF, and Swiss Public Television publishes a classified internal CIA history of the operation. The document confirms what Hans Buehler and a few stubborn journalists had long suspected. Crypto AG was not a neutral Swiss company. It was, for decades, jointly owned and operated by the CIA and the BND. The machines were rigged from the start. The customers were the product. The reporting suggests the Germans grew uneasy and exited the partnership in the early 1990s. The Americans, according to the documents, kept going, in some form, into the 2000s. By then, much of the world had moved on to digital encryption, and the golden age of Rubicon was over. Crypto AG itself is dissolved and broken up. The Swiss government, embarrassed, opens an inquiry. Politicians demand answers. Former employees insist they did not know. Former spies, anonymously, defend the operation as a triumph. A triumph for whom is the question that lingers. Think about what an operation like Rubicon really is. It is not just spying. It is the quiet theft of trust, repeated millions of times over half a century. Every leader who composed a delicate message and slid it into a crypto AG machine believed they were alone in the room. They were not. Every dissident named in a cable, every hostage discussed in a negotiation, every officer whose location was transmitted, all of it readable by foreign hands. We do not know how many of those decisions cost lives. We do not know which coups were nudged, which wars were shaped, which prisoners were betrayed because a third party knew what only two were supposed to know. The intelligence agencies will not say. Most of the files remain classified. The engineers in white shirts have retired. The little Swiss town is still quiet. The machines sit in museums and basements, harmless now, their secret out. But the people who trusted them, the diplomats, the soldiers, the families of the disappeared, most of them will never learn exactly what was read, or by whom, or what was done with it. We will never know. And that, perhaps, was always the point.